Welcome to Simple Podcast Editing. I am super excited today to bring the creators of Hi Nai podcast. I am ultimately, embarrassingly, very obsessed with right now. A supernatural Filipino-Canadian experience that I think you will love. We're going to focus on one aspect of sound design, and we'll do that with Motzie and Reg Helly.
Hi, I'm Motzie. I'm living in Toronto right now, but I am the creator of the Hi Nai podcast.
Okay. Hi, I'm Reg Helly. So I'm based in Metro Manila, Philippines, and I'm co-creator and co-producer of the podcast.
Is there any particular sound or technique that you think folks would benefit from learning how to do?
Our very DIY methods.
Really? Okay. What DAW do you use? I'll ask that first.
What? Sorry?
What DAW? Like Adobe Audition or Hindenburg or Pro Tools or Audacity?
We're Audacity, yeah, basically.
Seriously?
Yeah, Audacity and freesound.org.
freesound.org.
No way. I was thinking you guys made. Okay, wait. We're spoiling too much of the thingy. Okay, wait.
The magic. Oh no.
Okay. Sorry, just
it turns out we're cheapskates.
Yeah,
I think that's
cheapskates.
Brilliant, because I assumed that y'all made your sounds because it just they fit all so well together that I figured they were custom made. But we'll get to that in a second.
Some of them are. You can get some nice demos from Motzie.
Okay, so if I asked you that skin sound from the trailer.
That was really fun.
Yes, I love that one. So here's the actual sound that we got, and I have to remember so you can't just find like skin sounds, monster sounds. They're always so different things. So I have to in my brain dig up what would I want? What would I really want here? And so what I dug up on Freesound was I found the sound of a grunting pig, and I was like, that's close, but it's not quite what I want, but it's close. Yeah. And I believe the one I got to was it a guy whose stomach was hurting? So I think
it was a growling stomach noise. Yeah,
it was a growling stomach noise. And then so somebody had posted
a
growling stomach noise. Yeah, and we it had that that bubbling sound, that that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we stretched it out, we slowed it down, we echoed it a little bit, and you get this you get that horrible noise. And that's how we got the sound, the wonderful sound of our first creature. We wanted it to be disgusting.
Yeah, it was. That was the whole. It took me a couple of weeks to listen to the first episode through that, because every time I would hit that part, I'd be like, if this is the beginning, I can't handle this podcast. But once I got beyond that, I'm like, oh no, the story, the characters, yay. Okay, but yeah, that sound was wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's why Motzie and I talk about this a lot. It genuinely comes as a surprise when people get scared when they tell us that was so scary, because it's so hard
to gauge
how scary it is, working from the inside, especially when you're privy to the quote unquote magic that goes behind these sounds. Everyone tells us oh my gosh, I can't get through the first episode, or not even the teaser, because the sound design is so scary. And then we were like, oh, that's good. I didn't expect that, because this is literally a man's growling stomach noise. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's so hard to detach from that.
So that's interesting. Is it do you have that at your fingertips? Could you recreate that if we shared your screen, and could you walk us through how you did that?
And I made a mistake. It's actually not from Freesound. So originally we were taking sounds from this thing called Big Sound Bank, and most of it was from this guy named Joseph Sardin. And mostly we do Freesound now because the library is very, very small with Joseph, but he had some really interesting, really unique sounds, including the stomach growling. We were like, how did you record that? But he did it. So props to Joseph Sardin, who gave us this amazing sound. And
let's make sure we get it a few times.
That's the original sound.
Thank you, Joseph Sardine.
Exactly. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And now I
I
will.
wonder what he ate to give us this very convenient
Right?
sound.
What did he eat?
And
A service
how,
to mankind.
how do you get that? I mean, that's loud to capture it.
Put a
To capture your
microphone,
stomach
like, up
making
his
that
ass.
sound. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably has such a great like setup or something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Okay, let me try it
Wow.
one more time.
Okay.
See if you can hear it again, because I took off my speaker, and let's see if
Okay.
it works without speaker.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
That's good.
Okay, perfect.
there.
That's even better. All right, and now
And
I
this
will do
again,
my
this is from Big Sound Bank. Is that right?
big sound bank.
Mhm.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Big sound bank ironically has a small sound bank, but it is
Yeah.
it is very like all of them is like all of the
The
offerings are
ones
free.
we do find are pretty quality. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
But all of the ones he has are very good.
No way.
Yeah,
And
especially
and then we mostly do freesound.
freesound.org, because
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
nowadays.
library, so like I think it's there's a larger community around it, so there's definitely like a much larger library.
Exactly, more
Gotcha.
people like contributing and everything. So
That's awesome.
what I did, I started playing with it a little bit, and the first thing I did was I changed the speed. So I was just like, playing a little bit, like something like, and you start getting a little closer to what we hear in the
Yeah.
story. Yeah, it's very visceral. So I kind of
And just to reiterate for the people that'll be watching this later, this is an Audacity. So yeah. Go ahead.
this is all in Audacity. I was just
Okay.
like, so it plays the tempo and the pitch.
Yeah.
And I can make it even slower. So like I kept playing with the speeds. Yeah. And to that point, and even, well, I mean, at this point, the speed also changes the pitch. So I just, it's from here, I kind of play with tempo instead. So with tempo, let's do like, I guess like a really massive like slow down and see what it does. Yeah, so that's basically like the sound that I have, and I would do a couple more things. I play with the reverb and everything. So I just like I don't have the settings properly set right now. I'd have to do a few more. But yeah, you can hear like it's very
You can hear it changing. It's slowly getting there.
Yeah, and then like a few more things, just add more bass, that kind of thing. Remove the treble a little more, kind of just like play with that a little bit, and then you kind of get this. Sorry for like making you hear this multiple times, but like
no.
That's a little too much. So like we do basically that. We just do different things. We speed it up, we slow it down, etc., etc.
Okay, wait, slow down. So you slowed it down, and then you did a couple of other things. Can you walk through those just kind of quickly?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So we slowed it down quite a lot, and then we play with a reverb, which is down here.
Gotcha. Yeah.
These ones I'm still I kind of just do troubleshooting. So for things like wet gain, it's the like kind of like the wetness of the sound. So if you remove wet gain, it sounds more like this. I mean, it's already pretty wet, so but it kind of does remove a little bit of the wetness there.
Yeah.
If it had been less wet, you'd have heard like the change. Like if you'd added wet gain, it would have sounded more like that.
Okay.
And then I would play with the bass and treble. So I remove more of the treble. I do more of the bass. That gives it this very like very like it kind of like kills your speaker a little bit because like getting. But so we kind of just do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I noticed that there's a lot of like air time, like there's a little air on it. So what I usually do is, and this is one of our tricks, I learned it online. So we do noise reduction, and then we get the noise profile, and then we select everything, noise reduction again.
Yeah.
And this is what I learned. I put noise reduction on 12, sensitivity on 6, and frequency on 3.
Yeah.
And then I reduce noise. And it does a good job like removing a lot of the weird background air.
Yeah.
So you hear. So when you play it again, it isolates the sound of just
we make such good use of noise reduction. I think it's our most used feature on Audacity.
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
So a couple more like passes on that, and we end up like with this nice crispy like single beats of that weird stomach sound. We we play with it, slow it down more, speed it up, etc., etc. So that's kind of how we do our thing. That's kind of how we
Yeah.
Yeah, this made me realize I think we should start documenting like our sound design processes
I
because a
mean,
lot of it is just playing
Yeah.
around.
it really is just playing around. And
Wow.
I do have like now a setup for all of my things ever since we found out in the first, like, so a while back, and I don't even remember who told us this anymore, and we have to remember find them because they did us a huge favor. A while back, somebody told us that our sound was too tinny, like it was hitting some weird treble notes, and
Yeah.
they said like, oh, it might just be my earphones, but
Yeah.
it's sounding really like really shrill.
Yeah.
And so I went back in and I realized I was editing with my really, really nice, like professional headphones. But then I realized you don't catch what most people will hear with the professional headphones.
Right.
So I use my cheapy, like the cheapest headphones I have. And I heard
Yeah.
it. I was like, oh God, this sounds so like shrill and bad and like and tinny and everything. So we did another pass where we would where I have this set up for the equalizer where like everything, like we lower all of the higher the higher treble stuff
Mhm.
and make sure it's more bassy. So the upcoming episodes become a little more bassy, but
Mhm.
at least it's no longer like shrill, because at
Yeah.
least even if it sounds bassy to your ears, when you
Mhm.
put it through a telephone filter like we do and like make
Mhm.
it sound like a recording, it just sounds normal. There's
Yeah.
no longer this weird high pitch whatever. So most of our process is like troubleshooting,
Yeah.
testing, and it's
And trusting
very
your ears. I love
very
that.
like it's
Yeah.
not professional grade because none of us ever went to school, or like none of us ever got
No.
to
Yeah,
No.
got training for this. This
Yeah,
is very like learning on our own, very
But I thought you
DIY.
did. Like listening to the podcast, I thought y'all did.
Wow, we're
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, no,
that's
for
so
real.
flattering.
that's
I
awesome.
mean,
That's
it's not like
awesome.
I went to school for it either, but it sounded like it didn't sound like a podcast where you were learning how to do this as you were going. It sounded like one where you did like massive planning, massive skilling up, and then you did the podcast. Like that's what it sounded like
Oh,
to me.
that is so
No, I kid you not.
awesome.
Love
Oh
sounding
my
Yeah.
like we
Okay.
belong here.
Before
Because
we keep
especially
going,
like for the earlier episodes, it's like a lot of like when I'd listen back to the episodes, it's a lot of like, oh my God, oh no, that sounds so bad, but oh well.
I do not hear that. And I have kind of, okay, wait, before we do that, can I play the part of the trailer that has that sound? Because I want people to hear the final.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Stretchies. Okay. I don't
Yeah.
I couldn't see a thing in that black box behind
There
the
it
door.
is.
It's
All
coming
I
in.
could do was hear her. Her desperate, gasping screams and the sound of stumbling footsteps. Then she broke out of the darkness. Laura, her light hair covered in blood, gashes all over her arms. She saw me looking out my door and took off at a dead sprint toward me. And right behind her, breaking from the darkness, grabbing at the place she had just been, was a hulking figure. No. Not a figure. A mass. A mass of stretched gray skin. Human skin, but from someone long dead. Stretched so thin you could see something rotting and roiling beneath, but somehow keeping its shape, keeping itself together, a flimsy flesh sack, dragging itself across the floor.
Yeah, that's the part.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
And now
Yeah,
it's
that's
less
the part.
scary because I know where it came from.
Okay.
But man, the first 10 times I listened to that, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, now you listen
to it.
Yeah,
so
now if you
many
listen to it, like if you get too scared, just remember this is just a man's stomach after
Just a hungry
probably
guy.
a bunch of jalapenos.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm gonna record this. He's a genius, like this strange genius man decided, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna make a recording of this.
He
I'm
had
sure
no
it's gonna
idea the service he was giving.
Wow.
Mr. Joseph. Sorry, I guess
Sardine,
Sardine.
something like that.
I don't know how to pronounce the name, but yeah.
That's amazing. Okay. Well, I think that's awesome because that's trusting your ears, trusting your gut, literally. and playing around with stuff, which I think is way more useful, especially for folks doing audio dramas, than doing things just by the rules. Like use this sound, do this thing, use this chain of effects, that kind of thing. I think that's really, really inspiring. So
exactly. And yeah, like I just want to add to people who want to like do more sound editing and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, always trust your ear. Like don't never trust what it says on the label. Like it's not gonna sound exactly how you hear it in your head. And what you have to do is like get really creative. Like what else sounds like this? Like what do you want? Like what sounds like this? And then when you hear an audio clip, don't just take it at face value either. Think about what you can do to play with it. Like I found many things where it's like very close to what I want, but not quite what I want. And I'm like, I'm just gonna play with it. I'm gonna play with a pitch to see if that changes how I want it, or I'm gonna play with like the reverb to make it more echoey, and maybe that's what I want. And then the other thing is I do a lot of layering. So if, for example, something sounds too pitchy or whatever, like it's just too lonely, I add maybe like I take the same clip, then I lower it quite a bit and then have it echo underneath very quietly, and that gives it a bit more body. Or I take an entirely different clip and I like start like building more depth under it. So it's been like, it's a fantastic, like it's a lot of experimentation. It's something where you trust your ear. It's like art a little bit. You do get far if you know the basics, but honestly, if it looks good, nobody's going to tell if you had 10 years of school or if you had 0 years of school and just played, whatever looks good, whatever sounds good.
I can't believe you said it's like art a little bit. It's not like art a little bit. It is art.
It is art. It's like nobody's going to ask you like what your credentials are or like where you get your sound. It's like, it's really your like you will not know the difference between somebody drawing on a bamboo versus drawing on like the high end like Cintiq if you all have like skill,
Exactly. And I love that you all are using Audacity, because a lot of folks fight over the best, workstation to use and blah blah blah. And it's like, you know what?
Yeah, we didn't even get into that. We were just like, this seems the friendliest.
This is all we're gonna be able to use, and we can pay for something. Like this is what this is gonna whatever we don't have to pay for, we're not gonna pay for.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
That's the secret to a good podcast. Be cheapskates.
Paying attention to the things that you need to, not the other stuff.
And telephone filter.
And telephone filter.
Hey, this is supposed to be one tip at a time.
Sorry.
Covers up a lot of the mistakes.
If your podcast has the story element of bad sound, then you get to have as much bad sound as you want.
Yeah.
And that's how we get away with so much.
Saved us so much trouble.